So imagine this. You swap phones with your partner to prove that neither of you is cheating. Simple, right? No. This gets unhinged fast. Stick around till the end to hear my thoughts on it. So almost the second that she hands over her phone, a message pops up from a guy that you've never heard of. And before you even open it, you already know. So instead of checking the message, you open the photo gallery, then recently deleted. And that's where everything falls apart. Photos, videos, proof that she thought was gone. And the craziest part, this all started because she accused you of cheating first. So this guy has been married for years. House, kids, the whole caboodle. He works constantly. Military background, long hours, and away from home a lot. So this all started a few nights earlier when he'd been out drinking with his friends and ended up talking to another woman at the bar. Nothing happened. In fact, he told his wife the second that he got home, which immediately turned into a massive argument, and she's accusing him of cheating. Not flirting, not crossing a line, full-on cheating. And after a few days of tension, she eventually suggests that they swap phones to prove neither of them is hiding anything, which probably sounded like a great idea to her at the time. But right before they swap phones, she suddenly says she needs to check something and then disappears into the bathroom with her phone for a few minutes. Which, huge red flag already. I would have called her out straight away. Like, what did you need to check that you didn't want me to see? But he stupidly ignores it, and they swap phones. She goes through his first, finds absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, he's barely even checking hers, which after her reaction is just weird. Like she's given you a reason to go through her phone, because the way she reacted definitely showed there was something on there that she didn't want you to see. But then a message appears from some random guy, and something about it feels wrong immediately. So he checks her gallery. Nothing. Then he opens the recently deleted, and there it is. Photos of her with another guy, and a video. A very clear video. There is no misunderstanding this. And the second she hears the audio playing, she rushes over, grabs the phone, and permanently deletes everything, which tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Now this is the part that would drive me insane, because when he confronts her, she doesn't admit it. First, she says they were just messing around, whatever that means. Then she claims they never actually slept together. Then she outright denies it even her in the photos, even though he literally just watched the video himself. And after all that, she flips it back onto him. Says he was never around. Says she felt lonely. Says she needed somebody to talk to. Which is always interesting to me, because the conversation suddenly stops being about what they did and becomes about why you supposedly caused it. So now he's stuck. Because once you've seen something like that, you can't unsee it, especially when the other person keeps denying it happened. And honestly, that's the part that destroys trust the fastest. Not even the cheating itself, the lying after getting caught, the rewriting reality, the attempt to make you question what you literally saw with your own eyes. But at the same time, they have kids, a house, an entire life together. And she wants to move on like this is fixable. Meanwhile, he can barely look at her the same way anymore. And that gap between those two mindsets, that's where relationships go to die. This whole situation screams guilt and projecting onto the other person. She was cheating, so she expected him to do the same. But the thing is, cheaters don't come home and say, "Hey, I got talking to this woman at the bar and just wanted to let you know." But the thing that made me laugh is that she suggested they swap phones to prove they're not cheating, while she was. Like, how arrogant and sure of yourself do you have to be to do that? And the flipping it onto him and making it his fault, is a classic tactic to shift them into the victim role when they have to face that they've been doing wrong. Because it's easier to blame circumstance or the other person than to admit that you did a shitty thing. People don't like to take responsibility of their bad behaviour, even though nobody forced them to do it. But having kids together makes this hard, especially if she now wants to fix things. But what is going to change to stop this from happening again? Because I'd bet that she didn't have a conversation with him about how him being away was affecting her before all this went down. But what do you think? If someone cheated, got caught, deleted the evidence, and then still tried to deny it afterward, which is the real kicker here, could you ever trust them again? Or once it reaches that point, is that relationship already dead in the water? Thanks for listening to this episode of Quiet Betrayals. If that one felt a little too real, there's more of these, so stick around.